What's up, everyone? Renfell here. You might be wondering, what are you doing, Tim? You're playing a mobile game. I thought you did like MMOs, RPGs, and console games. Yes, I do. But I also enjoy mobile games from time to time. Now, most mobile games usually only get a couple of weeks on my phone before I just swipe right, or is it swipe left? I always say it. I delete them. However, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes has stayed on my phone for 4 years now because I think it's a really good game and I have a lot of fun with it. So when I found out that EA and Capital Games, the companies developing and publishing Galaxy of Heroes, had a Middle Earth game coming out, I was like, "Oh, I need to try this. Like I have a lot of fun playing Galaxy of Heroes. I have a feeling I'm going to have a lot of fun playing this one, the Heroes of Middle Earth." Um, I've not been disappointed so far. I have been playing this game since it launched, the morning it launched, and I'm level 17 now. If you've never played a mobile title before, you don't play. At least I don't. I don't play these games for the story. I also don't play them for the lore. I know some people have already made some. I think there's silly comments on some forums about how, oh, this game is tarnishing Tolkien's legacy and it ruins the lore and all. It doesn't do any of those things because it's not canon. Excuse me. It's just a mobile game using the IP. So if I want the lore, I'll go read the books. If I want to be immersed in the world, I'll go play Lord of the Rings online. If I want something visual, I'll go watch Peter Jackson's films. I play mobile games just to take my mind off things and to just bleh, you know? And it's fun. This is like popcorn entertainment. And I like the fact that I can come in and play characters from the world of Middle Earth and just kind of grind out, get some new characters, get some gear, so on and so forth. In 4 years of playing Galaxy of Heroes, I have never spent a penny on the game. You do not have to spend money to play mobile games, even though they are heavily monetized. Like I mean, pop-ups happen all the time, and they prompt you to want to go spend money, but you don't have to if you don't want to. I've been playing this game for a few days already, and it plays exactly like Galaxy of Heroes. So let's just kind of dive into it a little bit. I want to talk your way through things, talk about the game, some of the things I like, dislike. One of the things I can tell you right off the bat is that um, it has a lesser visual quality than Galaxy of Heroes, which I found at first I was like, I'm not sure that how do I feel about that? But as I got into it, I'm like, they might maybe enhance graphics later on over time. I don't know. They could just be sticking with a slightly lower poly to ensure they get better performance across all of the different devices that people might have to play. But other than that, I have seen that it has a couple of quirks still. It just launched out of early access, and it's still. I've noticed some I don't. They're not game-breaking bugs, but there's been some animation funkiness here and there, and some hitching here and there. But overall, the game plays pretty good, and it's fun. That's the most important thing for me. I like the grind of getting new characters, so for me, it's totally cool. So let's just start off with characters. So I have at my disposal now. I have Strider, Aothane, Frodo Baggins, Herondil, Leda Eowyn, and I've got this orc, Ugluk. Now, you can scroll down here and look at all the different characters you can unlock. Pippin. Some of these, by the way, some of these are from the book. Other ones I think they've just invented, for the purposes of the game, which is fine. That's what they're going to do here. So you'll see characters like Pippin, Halbarad, the Great Goblin, Bolg, Elrohir, Eomer, so on and so forth. Characters who are from the books. Keely, but then you'll also find these which you're like, who are these characters? Wubate, Rokma, Tordok, Uzhan. Then there's Sam Gamgee. Now, one of the things people have said is that it doesn't have any of the major characters like say Gandalf or Galadriel or Elrond, things of those nature. And when you look at Galaxy of Heroes, it very much has Darth Vader and Yoda and so on and so forth. So a lot of people have been questioning why those characters aren't here. I can't answer that at this point in time. It could be that they're going to be introducing those characters in a later update, which is something they've done with Galaxy of Heroes. Is over time, even to this day, they continually add new characters from the shows, from the movies, and so on and so forth. But the other thing to think about is that the rights to the Lord of the Rings are very tricky. Looking at Rings of Power as an example, it's notorious for the fact that even though it covered the Second Age, it doesn't have the rights to the Silmarillion. So there's all these characters from the Silmarillion that they can't touch. And we don't know exactly what the licensing agreement is to create this game. So it could be that they're starting off with very basic characters, and then they're going to be adding in the more powerful characters like Gandalf and Elrond and Galadriel and Sauron later on, with the Witch King of Angmar. I just don't know at this point in time. I just don't know. This is a pop-up as an example. Unlock the entire Rohan squad for, because I'm playing in Mexico, I'm getting the Mexican price. That's like it's $50, 60 bucks, something like that. You don't have to though. You just go grind those characters out in game if you want to. So again, if you've ever played Galaxy of Heroes, it's very similar in how this plays. You have your characters. We'll go back to that really quick. And when you have a character, if you open it up, they have a variety of abilities at their disposal. Over here on the left are their abilities. You can level those abilities up as you level up the character. Also, the characters have gear, so we can go in here and click on the gear. I don't have any of this tier of gear because I need to get to the next level to be able to unlock stuff. So, next set of gear is available, or next piece of gear is available at level 18, and I just dinged 17, so I've got a ways to go. So every character has its own unique gear set. Their own unique stats, abilities, and things that they do. That's fairly standard for these mobile games. So if you've never played one of these, that's okay. If you have, this is what it looks like. Beyond that, you're going to get these pop-ups constantly. That's one of the things that drive some people nuts. It doesn't bother me. I can literally close it whenever I want. So when you get in here, the way I play it is the first thing I do every single day is I just come in here and I knock out my dailies. I've already done my dailies for the day. So I've already knocked those out. You'll get your energy boosts every few hours. You get free chests every few hours, so on and so forth. And then, of course, you spend energy to do all of your abilities, all of your missions, I should say. And you can spend these gems to speed things up if you want to. Gems can be earned through gameplay, but you can also spend money on gems. There are a variety of ways to play. Now, I haven't unlocked the arena yet. I have to be level 20. I'm not level 20 yet, so I'm anticipating probably the next day or two I'll get to level 20 and unlock the arenas. But in the meantime, I've already joined a guild, so I have guild adventures. They have these challenges which change on a daily basis. So today, as an example, it's human and goblins only, and I've already played these this morning, so I can come in here and use the auto win feature now that I've beat the missions. And these give you special items, and you can look through here and Dark Relics is coming up. Only orcs and elves are allowed. Lost artifacts, you're only allowed to use tanks and healers. So this is a really cool challenge system where you have to use specific character types, specific characters, which inspires you to go earn all of the characters that you can play in the game because you'll want different sets of characters to play through here. Now, the other thing to think about, which they kind of prompted us a little while ago with the pop-up where it was like, get the whole Rohan pack, much like Galaxy of Heroes, if you go in here, your squad type, it's not going to show it here, actually. I need to go back. To say Eowyn as an example. It says here, Lady Eowyn, Rohan, light human support, one-handed sword, leader. So what this means when it says Rohan is that it's a set. So when you come in here and do, like if I'm going to go play a mission, you have sets of characters. Now, as we get into this, one of the ways you play through the game is you have the light campaign, guild campaign, and the shadow campaign. So light campaign uses good guys. The shadow campaign uses bad guys and orcs. And the guild campaign is things you can do with the guild, and you can use the allies of the guild to complete missions. So it's not just your characters, it's also the other characters from the guild. Anyway, let's just take a look at this real quick. I'll go in here and I've already done this battle, but let's click it so you can see what this actually looks like. Strider, goblins, and so many of them this far north. We've seen many strange sights in the Greenway, kinsman. Southrons have been sighted near Bree. Now, what pushes them into the North Downs? Hey everyone, Renfail here with the commercial part of the video where I say, hey, If you like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. And thanks to all of our supporters here on YouTube and over on Patreon, our highest members, our guild champions, Crazy's Relative, Remy D here on YouTube. And don't forget, if you want to support, it's really easy. You can do the memberships below, the Adventurers Guild, 3 different tiers. There's also the super thanks on any uploaded video or YouTube short that you find. There's also, of course, the super chats and stickers that you could do on any live stream or premiere, and the Patreon page if you want to dive into the fantasy world that I have with my brother and my wife, which is a tabletop game, a point-and-click adventure game, and a fantasy book series. All are great ways to keep this channel going and me going full-time. Thanks again for those of you who support. Let's get back to the video that you're watching now. So, these are the various characters I have at my disposal, and you'll notice that there is a number under each one of these. And that number represents the synergy between the various characters based on what their their base characteristics are. So, as an example, looking at Eowyn, she's from Rohan. So anybody who's from Rohan, you'll notice, get her back into the party. There's a pop-up here. It says Rohan. Now, he's a ranger, so he doesn't get the same synergy that they get because they're from Rohan. So if you have a full squad of Rohan units, there's going to be synergy between all of them, and they're going to have different abilities that trigger if they're working with each other. As an example, when you're working with the hobbits, I've noticed, because I played some missions with hobbits and guild members who have hobbits, and like Frodo and Sam have a synergy, and they can do abilities that trigger off of each other. Merry and Pippin as well, and then hobbits as a whole have a bonus. So that's something to pay attention to when you are building your squads. Is eventually you're going to want to start to build squads of the same type so that you can get the synergy. Also, because certain of those the adventures, the challenges are going to require you to like only use Rohan units or only use Ranger units and so on and so forth. But let's take a quick look at the combat. It's very simple. It's very basic. You have your basic attacks. You have special attacks. When you start off the game, you're only going to have basic abilities and basic speed. And you can't automate the combat. But as you level up through the game, you unlock a variety of advanced features. So, for example, I can... right now we're at speed level 1. Right? So if I were to do speed level 1, they will move at this speed. Like so. And I'm using my special abilities here. Go ahead and do his big attack. We'll reserve his. So that's sort of the basic attack. Now, I'm doing all this manually right now. But if I don't want to do things manually, I can go ahead and click up here and go to auto. And it's going to automatically... And if you've ever played these before, the good thing about auto is if you know it's going to be an easy fight, just auto it, go drink your coffee, answer some emails, everything else, and check back in a couple of minutes to see how the fight went out. You'll win most of the time. If you know it's going to be a hard fight, you're probably going to want to play manually because you'll need to strategize and do things differently. But let's just go ahead and click auto so that you guys can see what this looks like, and I can just sit back and let my characters do what they're going to do. Now, if at any point in time I want to speed this up, here's the ×2 speed. Isn't too bad. What about ×3 speed? Pew, pew, pew. I play on ×3 speed. I never play on base speed. I'm literally usually playing this game first thing in the morning when I wake up, drinking coffee and answering emails and stuff. So when I'm doing my dailies, I don't want to be bothered with all this stuff. I'm just like, yeah, just do your thing. Also, once you've beaten a battle on, when you've beaten a battle and you don't lose, you don't die, you get 3 stars to complete, you get the perfect score. You can then go back and do the autoplay feature, which means you don't actually have to go through this again. You can just, play it as if you'd actually played through it, and you'll get the rewards, which is a great way to grind out abilities and stuff. They aren't fleeing conflict in Harrod. My guess is they are Sauron's servants. He would not send this many as spies. They are looking for something. Yes, they are. So there is a story here. It's, you have to consider this is that it's not a story that's true to the books. It is a story invented for this game, and they're doing things with characters that some people get triggered by because it's like Arwen would never do that, Galadriel would never do that, Elrond would never do that, Strider would never do that. Get over it. It's a mobile game. It's not meant to follow the lore. They're doing their own thing. So if you can get past that, it's a pretty fun game. And there's a lot here, and obviously, if you're playing this free to play like I am, there's a big grind here, but I'm okay with that. You do have quests that you can complete. You can go look at this, like, I completed these quests, so I'm going to go ahead and claim my rewards, which give me some tokens. You can scroll down here and look at all of these different quests that you get. There's more that unlock as you level up. Oh, nice. I just got a new orc. So let's go ahead and summon him forth. Show you this process as well. One of Uglok's top lieutenants, Smaug focuses on aggressive tactics. What he lacks in subtlety, he makes up for with brutal fervor. So this is the second orc I've got, and I've already unlocked the other orc. So I can show you this process really quick. I've got him now. I can level him up, and since I'm level 17, it's going to just bump him all the way up to level 17 with the coin costs below, which I have plenty of. And then, of course, I can equip the gear that he's got. I can already level up a couple of his abilities, like so. And if I wanted to find the other pieces of gear to level up his tier, I would need to go in here and say, okay, where to find this. And if I've beaten a mission where it can be found, it's going to tell me here. Now, because I've actually beaten this one, there's an auto-win function here. So I can just click that, choose how many of those I want to auto-fight. It's going to change the cost associated, which uses my energy. And I would click this, and I would do this until I see the item that I need. And I got the item on the first try, so I can back out of here. I can say, okay, let's craft that item. Let's equip it. Let's go to the next one. I need 2 more pieces of gear. I'll just show you this process really quick so you guys can kind of understand what's going on here. We'll do this. I didn't get it that time. Let's do it again. Didn't get it that time. Each time it's going to spend energy, so if you're running out of energy or getting low on energy, you have to pay attention to that. Let's go ahead and craft this. Equip it. Oh, I got it on the first try. Let's go ahead and craft that and equip it. And now he's going to tier up. So, leveling process, summoning of new heroes process, the gearing up process, the adventuring process, all the different things you could do in this game, the way you can play it, and so on and so forth. Here's my final take on this. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I really liked Galaxy of Heroes. So far, I'm enjoying what I see here. This is not something that I am playing for story. It's something I'm playing just to have a mobile game on my phone that I, do. It's something where I'm easily distracted when I'm answering emails, or I go to the bathroom and I know I'm going to be in there for a little bit, or can't sleep at night, things of that nature. I'm stuck on a train. I'm stuck on a plane. That's why I play mobile games. And I don't keep a lot of them installed. Like I said, Galaxy of Heroes is the only one I've kept on my phone over the years. I anticipate this one I'm also going to be keeping on my phone because I've enjoyed it so far, and it's just a nice little grindy thing to have to, do once in a while when you're in between other projects or other games. In terms of, what's my review, I would give it a 7 out of 10 right now. The reason I don't give it a higher score is because there are still some quirks. Like I said, there's some hitching in the animation. I haven't had any crashes, but there have been some hitches. There's been some times when I've been like on the at least on the mobile. I'm on the PC right now, but like if you go to your character screen and you go to your characters, sometimes when you're going through these characters, I'll like go to the next one, and instead of switching to the next character, it'll actually still show the same animation, even though it switches all the stats and everything. It'll show this, and sometimes it'll be stacked where it'll be like Strider and um, Aothane on the same page, and they're kind of like in between each other and blending in and out. So there's some weirdness that happens here. The graphic quality, I said, is lesser than Galaxy of Heroes. I know a lot of people have been complaining about that. It's not a big thing for me, but it does lose a few notches for that. Um, and I think just those two things for me bring it down a couple of points. But a 7 out of 10 for me might even be an 8 out of 10, somewhere in there, 7.5. I mean, let's get a 7.5 out of 10. So over time, also the fact that we don't have all of the major heroes. We don't have Gandalf. We don't have Elrond. We don't have Galadriel. I would definitely like to see major heroes added. So, assuming that they add those things in over time and make the performance better, maybe enhance the graphics a little bit. I think if they did all of those things, I would give this, probably a 10 out of 10. But because of those things, I'm going to give it like a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's worth playing if you like mobile games. Again, you don't have to spend any money on this if you don't want to. It's Lord of the Rings based, but it's not Lord of the Rings lore. Keep that in mind. So it's just using the faces and the setting of the character. But at the end of the day, I think it's a fun mobile game. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Drop your comments below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. We'll see everybody in the next episode. Until then, stay safe. Happy gaming.